that's it. I put as much into my training as I can. I just have 3 short runs between now and the race. Very minimal, just to keep the legs moving. But otherwise, that's all I can do.
This is it. My final long run of the entire training block is complete. After 22 weeks of training and 3 more than I planned on, I'm now just a week away from the race. All that's left is a handful of easy runs to close things out before I attempt 26.2 miles in Richmond on November 16th. This will also be the last video in the series until after the race. Since the final week of training is truncated, and since I want to dedicate my free time to relaxing and mentally preparing, I'll let this one be the last one. I hope to have a race video and a race breakdown after, no matter how it goes, but for now, this will close this chapter of the series. It's a little hard to believe that I've made it this far. I joked about it in one of my previous videos, but the real reason I like to let my hair grow during a training cycle is to visually see change. I mean, this was me during week 1. That's a lot of change. But really, it's a physical representation of the major growth I've seen in my physical abilities. I can run longer. I can exercise with less stress on my body. I can recover more quickly. I've slept more than I ever have. It's not breaking any records, but in the 22 weeks of training so far, I averaged more than 7 hours per night in 9 of them. I know most of you don't know my previous sleep habits, but this is huge for me. Just ask my wife. I used to go to sleep at 3 or 4 in the morning, wake up at 8 and nap intermittently throughout the day when I could. Now I'm going to bed decently early and doing runs in the morning in the 5 and 6 o'clock hour. My ankle sprain from March is a thing of the past. Of course, I'm dealing with a new injury, but strength training through physical therapy has helped me get stronger while rehabbing that. More than physical changes, I know I've changed my mentality. Looking back at my first videos, I can see how much doubt I had in myself. I truly didn't think I'd ever be able to run longer than a half marathon. But then I did. And now I have, multiple times. I even set a half marathon personal best in the middle of this training block. Truthfully, I still don't know if I can finish a marathon. I won't know that until I try. But I've given myself all the tools to do it. Now I just have to let the chips fall where they will, control what I can, and let go of everything else. Before I close this video out, let's quickly talk about my runs for week 22. Day 1 was 8 by 400 meter repeats with 200 meter recoveries in between. Coming off of the 18-mile run just 2 days before, this one was a bit of a struggle. I contemplated cutting the track portion short, but decided to stick it out. It wasn't my best, but I managed some decent times for each rep, maxed out my cadence at 182, and kept the heart rate in check.
Week 22, day 1, just finished a 1-mile warm-up. Now I'm on to 8 by 400 meters fast with 200 meter recoveries, and then a 1-mile cool down. Guys, the taper has begun. The hard workouts are mostly behind me. Let's see if we can get through these last 2 weeks unscathed. All right, that's it. Workout complete. Extremely difficult. My legs absolutely cooked from the 18-mile run 2 days ago. They felt really heavy going around the track. There's also a pretty significant wind every time I rounded the track, which didn't help, but got it done. On to the next one.
Day 2 was 5 miles easy. Surprisingly, this one felt pretty good. I wasn't planning on pushing it, but ended up running the 5 miles with an average pace of 9:31 per mile and an average heart rate of 134.
Week 22, day 2, 5 miles this morning. Nice and easy. Mile 1, 9:30. Mile 2, 9:40. Mile 3, 9:35. Mile 4, 9:25. Mile 5, 9:23. I'll finish. On to the next one.
Day 3 was meant to be a 1 mile warm up, followed by 3 miles at an 8:47 per mile pace, and then a 1 mile cool down. I got started far later than I had hoped and only had time for 4 miles. I debated just phoning in those 4 miles and taking it easy, but then I decided to push it from the start and did my first 3 miles at that tempo pace, followed by a 1 mile cool down. I wouldn't generally recommend something like that so as not to injure yourself, but that was what I had time for, so that's what I did. Mile 1 was a little slow at 8 minutes 53 seconds, but I picked it up in mile 2 and 3 before the 1 mile cool down. Total time on the workout was 35 minutes and 39 seconds with an average heart rate of 139.
Week 22, day 3, tempo run today. Last one of the block. Mile 1, 8:53. Mile 2, 8:35. Mile 3, 8:32. That's it for the tempo miles today. Just to cool down now for about a mile, and we'll call it for the day. Mile 4 complete. That is all finished for today. 3 tempo miles, 1 cool down mile. Wouldn't recommend starting with no warm-up mile, but hey, time is of the essence this morning. Gotta walk my son to the bus. So that's it for today. 12 miles on Saturday. Then it's a real drop-off in mileage for the marathon.
Day 4 was the final long run of the block. This run was scheduled to be 12 miles at a 9:09 per mile pace. I was uncertain and doubtful that I could accomplish this pace for that distance when I started the run. And yet, I surprised even myself. Every mile was under the 9:09 per mile pace. My last 5 miles were under 8:59 per mile pace, with mile 12 being my fastest at 8:41. Total time on the run was 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 36 seconds, with an average heart rate of 146.
Week 22, day 4. Pretty windy today. The goal is 12 miles at marathon goal pace, 9:09 per mile. I'm not sure if I can do that, but we'll try. Mile 1, 9 minutes. Mile 2, 9 minutes. Mile 3, 9:01. Time for the first gel, Morton 160. Mile 4, 9:04. Mile 5, 9:01. Mile 6, 8:57. Turning around. Next gel, BPN mixed berry go gel with caffeine. Mile 7, 9:05. Mile 8, 8:50. Mile 9, 8:58. Losing steam, but one more gel. Mile 10, 8:58. Mile 11, 8:56. Mile 12, 8:42. I really can't believe I did that. I didn't think I'd get 1 mile under 9:09 per mile. And I did all 12. That's it. I put as much into my training as I can. I just have 3 short runs between now and the race. Very minimal, just to keep the legs moving. But otherwise, that's all I can do. On to the next one.
So that's it for week 22, and that's it for this training series. Throughout the training cycle so far, I've run more than 580 miles, and it'll all culminate in a 26.2 mile run through the streets of Richmond, Virginia in just a week. For those that have followed along through this whole series, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting. It's been a blast sharing this journey with you. As always, I'm grateful to run and grateful for today. 1 week to go. This is Foot Up to Finisher, and this is episode 22. Thanks for watching. See you soon.